Hi there, welcome to the CGTN live broadcast. I'm Yang Chengxi in the city of Shanghai. And as you can see behind me, we are in the Pudong area. Behind me is the very iconic 2010 Shanghai Expo venue. Now this is an area where a lot of international matches or events are held every year. And today we are welcoming a major event right here in the Pudong area, which is the Tour de France match in the city of Shanghai. Now you might wonder, this is Tour de France we're talking about. Why is it going to be held in Shanghai? Now, this is an international match that the organizer of Tour de France have for every country, almost every country they're planning in the future. And this year is the first year they're coming to China. This is not exactly the real Tour de France we're talking about in France, but a match for professionals and semi-professionals to compete in different places around the world. And this year is the first year they're coming to China, and they're coming to Shanghai this year. And as you can see, the bikers are getting ready to leave the beginning line. They're about to kick off the match. Just now we've heard from the Minister of Sports from France. And what we're looking at is a very major singer, actor, celebrity from China. He's called Ran Jingtian, and he's the spokesman for this year's Tour de France match in Shanghai. As we can see, that they are getting the final preparation done to kick off the match. This guy, Ran Jingtian, he is going to lead in the beginning. So that I believe we'll get a lot of people in China who are fans of this man, interested in this sport, in biking, and in Tour de France. Now, a little bit of background to this match we're witnessing today. It is called Criterium. Now, what is Criterium? Now, it is a match that will be joined by 7 world-leading top biking teams that consist of 28 professional bikers, and they will compete together with 5 domestic teams from China in a 19.7 kilometer race in the Shanghai Pudong area. And they're scheduled to kick off on 10 a.m. this morning. Now, the 5 teams from China, which consist of teams from the Giant Biking Group, which is a very famous group in China, and groups from regions like Hong Kong and Yunnan province. And these are the people who participated since January this year in a match called Le Tape, which is also organized by the Tour de France organizers. And the winning teams of Le Tapes around China, around the sub-matches in China, we get to participate, get to join today's Criterium match, which is the final match. And the several winning teams and winning bikers will get to participate in the 2018 Tour de France Criterium match in France, which is the home of the real Tour de France match. And so this is less like a pro sport event, but more like a thing to get more people involved and interested in biking. But the professionalism is still very high in this event, because today's match is going to be joined by several teams that were winners of previous Tour de France match in France. They are the Sky team, which is led by the very legendary Chris Froome, whose team won the 2015, 2016, and 2017 Tour de France matches in France. So very strong team. They're wearing the yellow shirt. As some of you who are familiar with Tour de France, yellow shirt gets to be worn by the winning team. I'm not sure if you can see the team members here, but they are getting ready. And also other teams include teams like Quick Step Floors, which is led by Marcel Kittel, also a very, very strong biker in the Tour de France match. And also teams like Trek Segafredo, which is led by bikers. Alberto Contador, who was the Tour de France champion in 2007 and 2009. Now, Contador retired some time ago, and this match it is promoted or advertised or so to speak hyped as Contador's last professional match today. This is Alberto Contador's last professional match. So this is also something that people pay close attention to, and just now we heard from all the team members, and Alberto Contador got quite a cheer from the audience. They're expecting him to shine in his last match, which is in Shanghai, not in France. Pretty amazing. So Tour de France is one of the biggest sporting events of the world. If you think about football, you think about the FIFA World Cup, you think about basketball, you think about the NBA matches, and if you think about biking, you definitely think about Tour de France, which has become a symbol that is synonym with the top biking events worldwide. Now, this is a very huge brand, so the organizer want to expand the brand to all parts of the world and get more people involved. So this has become a business model. So what we're hearing from now is the national anthem of China, which I assume means the beginning of the match is very soon, about 5 minutes from now. So as I said, this is a major brand, sporting brands worldwide, and the organizer want to expand this business model to other countries, to other markets. So this means a lot of localization has to be done. So this match originated in 1903 in France, so it was very French. So now it needs some localization in other countries and other markets. So yesterday there was actually a press conference where all the top French bikers in the Tour de France match that I mentioned, they participated in a series of very traditional Chinese activities, such as writing calligraphies, Chinese calligraphies, and playing Tai Chi. And so these are the things that the organizers want the bikers to perform to get more people interested in the sport, get more Chinese people interested, because it makes them more relatable to the Chinese culture and tradition. As you heard the loud noise, we are beginning the match. Everything is getting ready. So the leading cars are starting. And we wait for the bikers to come to the starting line. As you can see, they're gathering. You can probably see in the distance, we don't have a zoom lens, but you can probably see in the distance the yellow shirt bikers, Chris Froome, the Tour de France champion in 2015, 2016, and 2017, leading the Sky team today. Another interesting point is that in the past few days, during their press conferences and press releases by the organizer, they always mention that there is a biking revival in the country of China, because China used to be called a country on bikes. As quite a lot of people back in the day didn't could not afford cars. So biking was the mainstay for transportation for some time for the Chinese people before the 1970s, before the 1980s even, before the reform and opening up, which brought the economic miracle to China. And as the Chinese economy becomes the second biggest economy in the world right now, wait. As the Chinese market becomes the second biggest economy right now, more people are driving cars and less people are riding bikes. But right now, we are probably seeing a reversal of that trend. As more people prefer to bike now, as environmental awareness increase, and more people choose to lessen their carbon footprint, drive less, and bike more. And biking, it is a very healthy way to get around. You're relying on your own strength, and you train your own muscles. It's healthy, it's fun, and it's fast. So more people are biking, but they're not biking purely as a means of transportation now, as before. They're biking as a hobby. So that means that bikes are getting even more and more expensive too. And also, recently, in the past few years, in China, there mushroomed several startup companies that focused on bike sharing. For example, Mobike and OFO, which offers very, very cheap biking rental service on every corners on the street in China's first and second tier cities. That was very big game changers for people's transportation habits. In shorter distances, for example, 2 or 3 kilometers in terms of distance, and people don't really get a taxi anymore. In these scenarios, they simply go to a cheap rental bike in the corner of the street and then bike. So more people are getting into the habit of biking, which was something that the organizer talked about a lot in the past few days. They believe that it is a great time for Tour de France as a biking match to come to China. And as you can see, we're still waiting for the official start of the match. And a bunch of journalists right there are getting some shots of the bikers before they start. One of our cameramen is also right there. So please stay tuned for our story package later in the day, which will, I'm sure, have better images and visuals, because one of our cameramans are getting much closer shots than we are right now. Well, I'm not a professional biking enthusiast per se. I didn't Tour de France much in the past, but I'm sure that I'm very fond of biking. I've had several bikes before, and it was the main way. That as the day is very, very heightened. Many roads are sealed. A lot of police force are here to keep the order. The Hey guys, we're back. We're just in time for the beginning of the match. As you can see, the bikers are getting ready. The flags are ready. You can see that celebrity Ran Jingtian is here on the top of the car. And he is supposed to be the one that signals the beginning of the match. Hey, we're back. I'm not sure if you got that or not. We just witnessed the starting of the match. Bikers, 28 international bikers, and also 5 teams from China have just crossed the beginning line. They're about to race in the 19.7 kilometer race, and we are expected to interview some of the winners at 12 today, and so please stay tuned for our story package later in the day. So security is very heightened here, and as you can see, the organizer of the Tour de France is working very closely with the municipal government to make sure that this match runs as smooth as possible, and it's enjoyed a lot of support from the municipal government also because for the city, in the city's 13th five-year plan, making the city a very sport-oriented sports city Hey guys, welcome back. It's probably a shame that we didn't get to have the better internet connection to get you the shot where the athletes took off from the beginning line. But please stay tuned for the story packages that we are filing later today that will have much better visuals about the bikers and about the entire event. So stay tuned on CGTN. I'm Yang Shengxi, and that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.